Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, and his immaculate progeny. Dear brothers and sisters all over the world, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to yet another edition from series of Quran and Today's Life. As you might have already been following this series of shows, we're trying to have a thematic exegesis of the Holy Quran. In our recent discussions, we started a discussion on the concept of spirituality from a Quranic perspective. Specifically, we have been talking about the stages and phases of purification as one of the goals of the, in fact, missions of the prophets, divine prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the earth. Introducing the first and second phases of, in fact, purification, which were awakening and self-knowledge, we reached to the, in fact, third one, inshallah, in our today's discussion. But some, in fact, explanations on the second step was left incomplete, and we hope to have them all, inshallah, in this very session. Once again, I thank Shaykh Hujjatullah Dawadi, Islamic scholar and respected expert of this show, and in fact educated from Qom Seminary Schools, for his presence in this show. And I welcome you to this show first and say salam to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And I am so happy again we are together to have a discussion with our viewers, inshallah.
Thank you very much. We have been talking about the spirituality in the Holy Quran, and we're talking about the phases of purification, what a traveler should do and should know for starting, let's say, a spiritual journey in this world. How to, in fact, awaken himself, and how to deal with the first phase, which was awakening, and how to enter the second phase, which was self-knowledge. We just introduced self-knowledge. We know nothing more about the self-knowledge, what this self-knowledge is, and the prerequisites of this phase.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala khayri khalqihi, Muhammadan wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin al-ma'sumin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Very good brief, about our previous discussion. You mentioned that we first talk about the purposes of the Prophet, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Prophet. And after that, we said that they wanted to purify ourselves.
Sure.
So the human being needs purification to reach salvation, inshallah. And for purification, we need different phases to, go forward and reach that level, inshallah. The first one was, as you mentioned, awakening, and the second one is self-knowledge. What is the self-knowledge? Mm-hmm. What is self itself?
Yeah.
Self, we have a soul. Some people say that everything inside the human body that can be examined in our laboratory is true and real, but everything beyond it we cannot accept it. It was a usual question in the world that they say, what is the soul that you are talking about it? Mm-hmm. Do human being has a soul?
I mean, the soul itself is under question primarily.
Yes, but little by little, I don't want to talk about it because our discussion is something different, but somehow it is a little related to know what is the self exactly, and specifically. So we want to say that soul is different from the self. Yeah. When we are talking about something, I say I. Mm-hmm. What am I, rejecting to by the subject I in this sentence? I told you, I talked to you, I said this. What is I exactly? Mm-hmm. What I am rejecting to, by this, subject. This is the exact things that we call itself. Something inside our body that it is related completely to us. Mm-hmm. So we are trying everything for ourselves. Yeah, I eat because I want to live in this world. I get happy, I get sad of something, many different things. So this is called the self. So that is different from the soul.
So what is the difference with the soul?
I think soul, self is something more general than the soul. We say that the body has physical and spiritual parts, okay, metaphysic part. Soul is one of the metaphysic part of the body. To live, we need a soul.
Yeah.
But even our self is inside the soul too.
Very true.
Yeah.
So it's a part of metaphysic part of us.
Yes, exactly. So when we are talking about self, the knowledge of oneself, yeah, it is very important. We have to know ourselves. This is one thing that I wanted to mention. And secondly, when we say that, yeah, self-knowledge, is it exactly the knowledge about the self or no, the knowledge about ourselves? So in this case, we say, yeah, this is not the knowledge about the self. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inside through some verses of Holy Quran does not want to lead people to go and study about self. No, about yourself. It is very important here. So who am I? This is the question. If I know who am I, why I am for, or so on, it is very important. When we relate to some of the verses of our infallible Imam Ali alayhi salam, he mentioned rahimallahu ran min ain fi ain ila ain. So he said, God bless the one who knows where is he from, where did he come from,
Where he is now.
And
where will he go.
Yeah, 3 where. Yeah, past, now, and future. So everything will solve. It shows that we know our purpose. We will understand it, and we step into the good way, correct way, or so on.
So I think some of these questions have already been answered on the awakening part or awakening phase.
Exactly.
Who am I? What am I doing here? So are these questions interrelated between the first and second phase?
Maybe somehow, yes, it is. But mostly right now we are talking about the knowledge of self-knowledge, to understand ourselves.
So you said that this self-knowledge differs with self-knowledge.
With the self, yes.
Yeah, with the self-knowledge. So can you please elaborate on this more? What do you mean by the self-knowledge? And these two self-knowledges,
yes,
what are
yes.
these two?
So one of them is self-knowledge, the knowledge about myself. And sometimes we want to find some knowledge about the word self. Yeah?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. So here we are not talking about the word self. What is it? Is it different from the soul? Or no, it is the same. And when we say myself, what do I mean, or so on? No, we are not talking about the word self.
Okay. True.
We are talking about ourselves.
Very true.
So we want to find out some knowledge about myself. So in this case, I related the words of Imam Ali alayhi salam that rahimallahu ran. So this is somehow understanding from our purpose.
In fact, we are trying to understand the existing status and position of ourselves in this world.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yes.
What questions should be, regarded here? What notions and concepts should be regarded for a traveler here? Is there any adab etiquettes in this way?
Exactly. I say that if we want to understand who am I and to have some knowledge about myself, we say there are some opportunities. I should take use of those opportunities. There are different, options. I should use them. And of course, there are many people who have different experience about themselves. Yeah? So we have take use of the others, experiences too. And of course, we should exactly, study the life of the other people too, to understand what was bad about their life, what was good about their life. Everything bad must be put aside. Everything good must be taken. So it is very important to study about the people's life, okay, and find out their weak and powerful points in their life. We know some people that they have spent their whole life, I don't know how much, but maybe about 90 years, 80 years, or so on, to study about insects, not generally insects, a specific kind of insects, you know. Yeah, yes, you see some of the professors, some people who has spent their whole life to study about one type of an insect, for example, in one of the deserts of Australia or somewhere else, like, for example, Africa or so on. But when you talk to him, he does not know anything about himself. When we say self-knowledge, I mean, we shouldn't be like those. I don't want to say that they are doing bad things. I want to say that, yes, as much as we has studied different things, so we have spent somehow a specific time to study about myself.
Exactly, very beautiful.
Yes.
Well, we have been talking about the second step of spiritual journey to our perfection, which was self-knowledge. The distinction between self, soul, and self-knowledge will also covered, and these are of high importance to be understood and to be regarded. Inshallah, we shall be continuing our discussion on the phases and stages of purification. After a very short break, please stay tuned. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to Quran in Today's Life and our discussion about the spirituality from a Quranic perspective. We have been talking about the stages of purification. The second stage was talked about, that is self-knowledge. We thank Sheikh Dawoodi for his scholarly elaborations on the concept and moreover about the second phase, self-knowledge. It was very good that we knew what the soul and what the self and the differences and what the self-knowledge is, and the questions which were going to be, in fact, understood and to be answered by a traveler were also important to be known. What else should we know about the self-knowledge and the second phase, and how can we pass this phase and enter into the third one? Yeah.
Yes, a good question. But first of all, let me thank you for the very good, phrase that you said. Our travelers. Yes, it is like a travel. Yeah, we mentioned that to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, get closer to Him and reach salvation, we need to step into a journey. Yeah. It is like a journey, a way to reach it. So this word is used as a, of course, this is not our purpose. This is our tool to reach salvation. And so traveler is a good word, a good term for it. Very nice. So yes, to understand about self, I explained that there are some people who have studied about different things, about the stars, about mountains, about waters, about little insects, but they do not know what are they themselves. So because of that, we refer to some of the ahadith from our infallible imams. Many different infallible imams they have mentioned that تفكر ساعة أفضل من عبادة الثقلين. If we think for a short period of time, it is much more useful than worshiping God for a long time.
That's true.
So it is very important to think about ourselves, about our purpose that we have, or so on. So, referring to some words of Urafat, they say that we have two words. They say internal word and external word. So yes, external word is very important. We have to study it, because one of the ways to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is studying about the world that we are living in. But the word inside, they say it is much more important to find ourselves. Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbah. The one who has, understand and has known himself, he is the person who can understand and find out Allah subhanahu
So
wa
I think we
ta'ala.
should pass from the superficial definition and interpretation of this hadith. When it says, when someone understands himself, it means his own self with all his complications.
Very
Doesn't-
good.
Yeah, is it true?
Of course, yes, that is exactly the things that you refer. Yeah, why understanding ourselves is the primary step to understand Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, because we are one of the creatures of Allah. In this way, we understand Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. We can find out if so. Those people who have studied about the function of a car, yeah. The car has a motor, so inside the motor, so different parts are gathered together and they are functioning so well that the car can move forward. So those engineers that they have studied it, okay, after that they say, oh, very good, those inverter that has invented, this motor. It is very important. They say, oh, what a good car. Yes, they say it. But also they know that somebody has invented, somebody has. So we say the God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has created us. So as much as we study about ourselves, so as much we understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Is it because, the self, when we understand ourselves, in fact we are understanding our metaphysic part, and Allah, since that is not a material, is not, it's something spiritual. Allah is Nur. And Nur is also known to be from the metaphysic part. So does it mean when we start knowing this metaphysic of ourselves, we can be closer to that greater metaphysic that is unlimited?
I think both of them, So if you understand the physical part of our body, the function of it, we can reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He was so great that He has created this.
Yeah.
But some metaphysic parts of the body, it is somehow much more important that, for example, now the people in the world are trying to, make robots. So these are special computers like human beings that they are doing the, daily lives, yeah.
That's true.
They do everything for the people, but, do they have sadness, happiness? Do they have...
No feeling at all.
No feeling at all. They have no love, no sad, nothing like this. So we say, yes, studying about the metaphysics parts of the body, parts of the human beings, is much more important than the physical parts. But of course, as well, studying about physical part of the body is one of the ways to understand. So it is related to our capacity.
Okay.
So as much we go higher and higher, okay, these parts are much clearer to us.
So what is the outcome of this self-knowledge? What happens that one understands that, okay, he's done with this stage and he's ready to enter the next stage? So what are the results of that?
Yes. I think it really does not know any special knowledge that we say, yeah, this is not like a game that we finish this phase or now that I want to start another phase. You see different games that sometimes you finish a game and you go forward to another phase without understanding. Yeah. So we say this phase, we cannot say that they are separate phase.
That's true.
That we understand that now it has finished, now put it aside, I stop, start working in the second phase. No.
They are integrated,
Yes.
stages.
If we fulfill it, the first step, automatically we go to the second one. And when we finish the second one, automatically we go again to the third phase.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the third phase? And is there anything left from the second one?
I think not, but it is very important to understand ourselves.
That's true.
So to go forward and finish, I think this topic, the third phase and level is called muraqabah. In English, we call it attentiveness or taking care of oneself. It is very important.
Yeah.
Now, I am awake, and I know how much important I am, and I have studied about myself. Now, what should I do? I should take care of myself.
Very true.
It is very important. I should be, aware of the different things that I can do. So through 3 different levels, I can take care of myself. The first one is faith and belief. It is very important. The things that I believe.
In fact, now we are trying to discuss the ways to take care of ourselves. In fact, to be attentive here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
the first one is our faith and belief.
Belief, yeah. If I do not have the faith and belief, okay, can I take care of myself? For example, I believe in nothing good and nothing bad. So how can I take care of myself? So I should know what is bad, what is good for myself, or so on. And through that, I take. For example, it is like a doctor, that I go to the doctor says, yeah, you have this problem. So now it is the first step. What is good for me? What is bad for me? So the faith and belief shows us, do's and don'ts. What should I do? What shouldn't I do? So our faith and belief, shows the way to us.
So this faith does not necessarily mean, to have the belief in a religion?
One of them is the religion, but not, necessarily. Yeah, necessarily, yeah, of course. Because the religion shows us the way, but yeah, through the religion, I should, yeah. For example, if I want to give an example, we say that there are some people that they say, yes, I believe, but they really do not believe. They know. Yeah, for example, I know that something happened in the, for example, one of the cities of my country. There was an accident there. But if I was inside the accident myself, I believed that. But now I am
do
informed.
know the regulations of Islam, but I don't believe in them.
Yes. So faith and belief is very important.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are some verses of Holy Quran that Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, aminu.
Yeah.
Those are, so believe in God. Believe is very important.
That's true.
The second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if you have...
No, it's okay, because
Yes.
we're still looking at the tactics of attentiveness or
Of
muraqabah.
course, yeah. So, as you said, that these are some tactics and ways, okay, to do muraqabah and taking care of myself.
Yeah.
So, the second one is being pious. So, it has some, special features, of course, to being pious. You see different people, by their behavior, even the, lay people, usual people can understand that who is pious or who is not. But of course, the piety is the second level of faith and belief. So
true.
if I believe in something, automatically I will be pious.
Very true.
This is very important. And the third, level, the third level, or we say the third, tactic to take care of myself is having good characteristics. How can I have and receive and obtain good characteristics? By being moral. Morality is very important in the society. And of course, I think all of the religions has a special emphasis on the morality. Yeah.
That's true.
Nobody in the world can say that morality is bad. Yeah, let alone he is a religious person. So all of the religions come to lead people to morality. Morality is very important. And one of the most important purposes of religion for the people is, emphasis on the morality. So 3 tactics. First, faith and belief. The second, piety and being pious. And the third one is having good characteristics and, of course, believe in morality. Okay. These are the tactics to take care of.
Thank you.
Ourselves.
I think we're done with the 3 stages of purification. Inshallah, we shall be continuing our discussion on the spirituality and the needs and shoots and should nots of this, important issue in our lives. In our
Inshallah, in
next shows.
future.
Inshallah. You respected viewers, thanks again for your staying tuned with this show, Spirituality in the Holy Quran, in the show which is entitled as Quran in Today's Life. We have been benefited from explanations of Islamic scholar Shaykh Hujjatullah Dawoodi. And inshallah we shall be continuing our discussion about the spirituality in the Holy Quran. These recent two shows were dedicated to the stages of purification and a spiritual journey toward perfection. Inshallah we shall be continuing our spirituality concept in the Quran in our next shows. Till then, have a very good time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.